All right. Well, welcome you guys. We're thrilled to welcome you to another elevation call. And we're going to go ahead and just make sure that everyone is muted out here. And if
Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. Lisa Hall, hold on just one moment here. Just trying to make sure that our acoustics are working here, but we're going to provide time for people to introduce new ambassadors. Here in just a minute, we're going to give everyone time to get on, but just wanted to welcome everybody. I'm Lisa Bell Henson.
Hal
Henson. And this is Team Unlimited. It's our elevation call, which is really our group call. And we're wanting to welcome everybody tonight and asked if you have new ambassadors who are on this call, we always love to meet them. Before we actually do that though, I want to just kind of review what are 3 purposes of Zalise and building Zalise. And we are very well aware of the primary reason that most people are just really attracted to this business. We've seen this get better and better and better over time, 3.5 years now in the business, is really just the health benefits, life-changing health benefits of fueling the endocannabinoid system. And then second of all, we have the whole financial benefit of building an asset, one customer, one ambassador at a time. And that is really about creating and retaining new product volume, which we're going to talk about that. We're going to come back to that.
New product volume and building teams of people who want to earn income themselves, whether it be enough income to cover the cost of these incredible products just for themselves or their family, or actually create a significant income stream.
Right.
It's everything in between.
And then the third reason, of course, is the pay it forward platform, that every single dollar is paid forward for nutrition. And that's infused throughout our compensation plan. It's also through the Patriot program. And we love being able to have programs interspersed. Recently, I was able to see Greg Gatson as he's now championing the Patriot program. So I love what we do. We get to really do work every single day that helps to serve people, helps to improve health, helps to improve income. Yeah. And that is a true blessing.
Yeah. Can I say something?
You may.
It's not on our list.
No. Go ahead, Al.
Are you sure? Yeah. You're okay with it? So what I want to do, I was just thinking about it on my way walking in here before the meeting started. I was just thinking how much I appreciate you guys as a team, all you leaders who serve your team, help your teams in all kinds of ways, not just with business, but with life. I just want to express gratitude to all of us, to all of you. Lisa and I so enjoy doing what we do with you. And I was just thinking about that tonight, just for a few minutes. Some of you, I just want to express gratitude for some of you who are hanging tough during tough times, and you really haven't been able to get traction with your business, certainly not the way that you want to. Some of you have had traction and maybe slipped back, or maybe are running hard and you want to run faster, but I just want to express gratitude for all of you who are hanging in here for the people of your future who you are going to deliver this message to. It's not about the ones who've told you no in the past as much as it is those who you will meet in the future, that your grit, your determination, your faith, your faithfulness, your willingness to be a part of this company and paying forward, you're going to change somebody's life in the future, and you're going to impact them in the future. And it may be tomorrow, it may be next week, next month, next year, don't know. But I was just thinking how much I appreciate and love you guys, and just wanted to express that tonight, even though it's not on our agenda.
That's beautiful.
I just wanted to say that to all of you.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
So shout out to new ambassadors, anybody who is new on the call tonight.
So Lisa.
Yes, Dr. Lisa Hall.
I would like to introduce one of my new rock stars. She is just going crazy. She joined on the 19th. So I think that's a little like one day over a week, but she is actually just unbelievable. She has introduced me to 25 people, some for the product, some for business meetings. I've gotten to the point where I'm almost losing my voice from doing business meetings. And she is just rocking this business. But as an individual, she's just an amazing person. She's from Kenya, and she came here at the age of 18 by herself. to go to college and then moved back here permanently at the age of 26. Has raised an amazing family. She has 2 daughters, one getting ready to go do her PhD at Harvard, and the other one at 16 has already written a book. Her husband is a professor with a PhD, and they have dreams and they have plans, and she is showing that she knows how to get that done. So I would just like to welcome Mercy to the team.
Hey, Mercy.
Way to go, Mercy. And Lisa, I have had the privilege
There's
of,
Mercy. She's on the deal. Let's have her speak.
hey, Mercy, can you say hi to everyone?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I am so excited to join this company and this team, and even more excited to be working with Dr. Lisa. It's just been amazing, and this is my husband.
I was going to say, who is that handsome man?
Hi, Alan.
Hi, how are you? You're good people. I listened to the presentation yesterday. This is something big.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can go now. Yeah, but yeah, thank you so much. I'm really excited, and really excited to be here and to be this company at this time. I cannot hold it in. So I have had a really good success with the product, and I'm just gonna share it with anyone that wants to listen.
Hey,
Thank
Mercy,
you.
can you tell us just very quickly about your product experience?
Yes, I was I actually met Dr. Lisa through a coaching program that we worked together, and due to some really traumatic events that happened in my life, I got really bad anxiety and panic attacks. And during that coaching program with Dr. Lisa, I actually ended up having a panic attack. And she helped me calm myself through that time. And then after the meeting, she didn't tell me she was in a network marketing company or anything, but she said she had some products that she would like me to try. And I told her anything, because I was really suffering. I said, I'll try anything at this point. And she sent it to me for free, didn't charge me. She said, I'm just gonna send it to you, don't need to pay for it. I just want you to get some help. I hope it helps you. So when it came, she taught me how to use it. And within 3 days, I could tell a difference. And I haven't had any panic attacks since. It's been over a month now. And the panic attacks I was getting was so bad that I would call 911 sometimes, because I would think I was dying. I would think I was having a heart attack. So they were so bad, and I haven't had them. It's been a life-changing thing. And then I called her back after a month, and I said, what are you like? Where do you get this product from? And she, then that's when and I was like, I want to do what you're doing. And she's like, I didn't even have to look for you. So I actually looked for her, because I was so happy with the product. So happy.
That's awesome. Mercy, well, thank you for sharing that. And
For the first time, she's been able to sleep all night, like through a week. Mm-hmm. And this wasn't the thing. We always called 911 to come and help her once every 3 days. And that was the life until she came across this thing that Dr. Lisa gave. I don't know what it's called yet. I will know as we go, but that was something.
I know he asked me, he said, what are you taking? I was like, I have no idea. I said, she's been a ER doctor for 30 years. So, if she tells me drink water and you're going to feel better, I'm going to drink water. She says, go eat some leaves. I mean, at that point, I was so desperate that I was just going to do whatever she tells me. So she's like, take these products. I'm like, I'm going to take them, because it was so bad. But it's the best thing that happened to me. So I'm so happy.
That is so beautiful, Mercy. And you did such a fantastic job getting into action with Lisa. And also the Zoom that we all three did together. You did a beautiful job with introductions. And I'm just really proud of how well you've jumped in and just really started introducing people to Lisa and using this system to help build your business. So thank you. We're excited that you're on our team.
Nice to meet you face to face, you and that handsome man. And so we look forward to many future days of helping other people together.
Absolutely.
And so thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Mercy.
Lisa, can you ask Marcy what the dosage she was taking to help her?
Oh, Mercy, what dosage and what product were you taking for your panic attacks?
Lisa, can you answer that?
Well, I wasn't there watching, but I sent her CBD and CBG, and I always have people start low. So I always tell them to start with a half a cc each morning because everyone reacts differently. And she was also on prescription medication from the doctor that she'd been on for quite some time that wasn't doing anything. So I wanted to be very cautious. And then I also sent her some, did I send you Dream and Rev R&R? Yeah, for sleep, because she told me she never slept. And so on the R&R and Dream, both of them, I just suggest everyone start a half a cc. And I found tremendous dose, with those dosages. I haven't seen where people have really needed to go up from there.
Awesome. Great question. Thank you so much, Dr. Lisa and Mercy. It's great information. Love that. Any other new ambassadors to welcome this evening?
Yes, Lisa, it's Mary Ellen Ziliak from Evansville, Indiana.
Hey, Mary Ellen.
Hey, Lisa and Hal. I just wanted to welcome Connie Grease because this is her first elevation call.
Woo, welcome, Connie.
And Connie is out of Evansville, Indiana, and she's been taking product with great results for about a year. And along that year, she said, well, I'm just not doing the business. She's a busy woman. Well, she's still saying I'm not doing the business, but she had 3 people that were guests when Stephen Thompson was in Wadesville, Indiana on the tour Tuesday night. One of those signed on. She'd already signed someone else on. She became an associate yesterday, and her 3rd person signs on this week. So
awesome.
Welcome Connie Grease to our group.
Hey, Connie, will you come on the call and just say hello to everybody? Will you unmute yourself?
Push the unmute.
This is all new to everybody, so
It
is. She may not want to. She may be shy.
She may not know how to unmute.
Well, Mary Ellen, while she's working on,
there she is.
Are you there?
There she is.
Connie?
Yes.
Oh, we see you.
She knows how to do it.
We can't hear you, but we can see you, Connie. I think there's a little technical difficulty. It might be that she's still using her flip phone.
Or she's calling in from Mary Ellen's house, one of the two.
It might be.
Hey, Mary Ellen, I wanted to give you a shout out and just have you share about what it was like to host Stephen for the very first time in Wadesville, Indiana.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It is impossible to describe the energy that Stephen Thompson brings into a room. And we had a family room set aside in Wadesville, Indiana, Tuesday night. We had 55 people there and 12 of them were guests. And I got feedback the next day from guests and ambassadors and said, oh my gosh, that whole room was full of energy. And people are still talking about the buzz. It's just hard to describe because he gets everyone excited and so hopeful. And that's what I think everyone felt. Besides gaining so much knowledge, it was just a wonderful experience. And we're still buzzing from it. We're carrying it elsewhere, St. Louis and Evansville and you name it. Southern Indiana's on fire.
Mary Ellen, the reason Stephen came was because you had already been doing the work. And therefore you already had that meeting planned and he kind of crashed it. Am I right?
Yes. And we said, bring it on.
Well, and I know multiple teams supported that. I know Jim and Linda were there. I know that your whole team, Karen Hale and that whole group and some other folks from just other teams outside of ours. But because you were already showing the plan on a regular basis, this is now the 2nd time that Stephen has kind of tagged onto your meeting, and it's really showing in the volume that you're producing and the productivity of your team. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. It was a wonderful experience. I'm glad we got to do it.
Awesome.
Consistency, girl, consistency. That's
Mary Ellen.
That's right.
Yeah. Regional, national for you, Mary Ellen. Let's do it.
We're working on it.
We just need to get Connie to area now.
Yes, we do. She's getting there.
And Connie, we can see you, but we can't hear for some reason. There's something about your mic that's not letting us hear you. So next time we're going to make sure that we
Yeah, we hear you trying, but it just sounds like
It's
somebody's
garbled.
crinkling up Reynolds wrap or something.
Yeah.
It sounds
it's
like it sounds like mice.
It does sound like mice.
Sounds
but,
like Mickey Mouse.
but anyway, so welcome to Connie, and also to Connie's new ambassadors that she's just enrolled to make
And
her an
I
associate.
want to congratulate. There's some people who have this week. I'm not going to name them necessarily because I don't want to miss anybody, but I know some people have enrolled some new people this week, and we've mentioned a few. And so because of that, I just want to congratulate all of you who this week we have heard either directly from you or through the grapevine that you have enrolled new wholesale customers, you've enrolled new bronzes, silvers, and golds to join the team. And we just want to congratulate all of you and keep it going, so.
And now, anybody else that has a new ambassador on tonight that we need to recognize? Because if not, I want Hal to talk about how we keep track of our new volume through new enrollments, and
Like the
tell us about the
leaderboard?
leaderboard.
Okay, so Zalise keeps up with a leaderboard, an international leaderboard that they post and update every day. And it's based upon enrollments, literally on the point system, that's the BV point system. And they post that in the back office that all of us have available to us. Lisa and I keep up with it regularly because you guys are on it. You guys are on it. And we always bring that up on Sunday night to recognize the people on our team who are in the top 25 that's recognized by Zalise. And this is a very international leaderboard. Many of the top leaders right now are actually in Latin America, which has just opened up recently. But those of you that are on our team, let's begin with number 25 in Mississippi is Mary Jo Perry. She's pretty much been on the leaderboard all month at number 25. Then Tim and Lori Anderson in the great state of Texas, and part of our Tyler team there at number 15. Number 9 is Pam Riley, who has been with us a little while, but the Stephen Thompson tour that went to Arizona really kind of kicked her into gear. And she's in touch with Lisa regularly during the week out there. So that's Pam Riley at number 9. And then once again, a regular name on the leaderboard from our team is Laura McClendon at number 5. Laura's building a huge team there in Tyler. She's a fairly new area Jeep qualifying area ambassador, and on her way to regional and national. And she's got a great team above her, and she's got a great team that she's building. And one of those people is number 3. One of those people on that team under Jason Smith is Sam Richmond, who Lisa worked with a bit this week.
Yeah,
and
he owns a coffee shop.
Has a coffee shop there in Tyler area, and he's at number 3 on the leaderboard as of today. So
congratulations.
Congratulations to all of you guys.
Absolutely. And so one of the lessons for today, and really what we want to do today, guys, is talk a little bit about the symposium. The new tool that we have that was just introduced to us, the sample packs, and kind of how to use them, position those to help you really create volume. Because one of the things we talk about a lot is creating new volume. And if you didn't, you may or may not have noticed that the samples are beautiful, they're cool. There's actually 4 different pouches. Everything but the lip balm obviously is in those sample packs. But when you order them, there's no volume because they're promotional materials.
Now, what we mean by volume is BV that counts towards your rank. These are actually promotional materials. They're not considered products by Zalise, even though there is our product in these sample packs for people to try and have an experience with them. They're different from the other samples that we've had, which are our 7 mil Ultracell in 3 different flavors, and also our mini topical. Those are also considered experience inducing promotional pieces. And that's been the primary purpose of these quote minis or samples. Now those do have volume, but with these particular sample packs, just because of the packaging and the uniqueness and everything, to make them at a price point that's affordable for us, and to make it as a promotional piece, which you can sell, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, just like we do our other minis and samples. There's no volume to go with it. Your volume will come from people using the product and then buying their own Lachey kits, sharing it with other people and building their own team. That's where your volume will come in. So rather than making them too expensive for us to be able to afford on the front end and for other people to use on a sample basis, the decision was made to just make them as inexpensive as possible, without any business volume, so that we can use them as a tool to build with. So
Right.
anyway, does that make sense?
It makes a
Did I
lot of
say
sense.
too much?
No, you didn't. That was perfect.
Okay, good, thanks.
And so if you guys were on the symposium, then you saw that there was a silver and a gold package that were available. And then those each had volume. The silver kit was I believe it was what, let's see, $4.99, and it had 250 BV of regular volume and 250 BV of rank volume. That means whoever orders that kit gets 250 extra BV points toward their rank. So in addition, that came with 2 of the whole Lachey kit, 2 collagens, and then a mini oral and a mini topical. So that was the silver kit. The gold kit had 4 of everything plus the minis in that. And that gold kit is $9.99 with 500 BV of regular volume and 500 BV of rank volume.
Can I talk about why that's significant?
Yeah, please do.
So show specials that are offered from Stephen Thompson from corporate, when they make a decision to do a show special, typically one of 2 things, and sometimes 2 things happens with these show specials. Number 1 is they make the price better for a very short period of time. So people can come in at gold at a reduced price, $200 off, okay? And they run that, or they run the silver package at $4.99 as opposed to $6.99. So it's a show special on the price. The quantity is there. The ability to make retail money is still there. It's just a short period of time, and they almost always come at the end of the month or when there's a product launch. Now, the other thing that's happens every once in a while in a show special is that Stephen decides to help people reach their rank at the end of the month that they're going for, like running for rank. For example, some of you might want to be hitting city ambassador for the first time, and you're trying to build a team, and let's say you have 2,000 points toward the 3,000 to become a city ambassador on your team. And instead of getting 500 business volume when you enroll a new gold during this show special, you get 1,000 toward that rank. So for this short period of time, that extra volume credit could help you reach the rank of city ambassador or area ambassador, which for that time in that month, that could mean significant increase in pay to you for that period of time. So again, when these are offered, what we highly suggest is that you understand it the best you can and pass it on to your team. And especially as you are helping yourself and other people build toward reaching a rank of achievement, which always means significant change in income for you, and also always means that you're doing something to help more people. You can't run for rank in this business without helping your team and helping other people. So that's just the way it is. You can't get there by yourself, and you can't get there just for yourself. So that's, again, when we talk about these show specials, you look for better pricing opportunity in the moment, and you also look for extra volume of points that are given in those sign-up periods.
And the question was, how long does it last? So it actually, we got a text to our mobile app that this actually lasts through tonight. So this is just the last day for these show specials. But you also see the 10 and the 25 and the 50 pack. And if you do the math on that,
can we make that any bigger?
Let's see. I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Can you guys see this? This is all over the place. It's on Team Unlimited. I think they can see it.
Okay.
So, but if you do the math on the 10 pack, that's $10 each. If you do the 25 pack, it's $8 each. If you do the 50 pack, it's $6 each. So you can actually buy the price down. But one of the things that we've discussed with some of the top leaders is the fact that we are going to actually charge for those. And so how, I want you to kind of talk a little bit about your strategy for incorporating this as an entire part of the product line?
Yeah, so there wasn't a lot in the symposium that, it was an introduction of these great sample packs of the Lachey products, which was really the intent of Saturday's symposium, to educate people on the skin, to help people better understand whether they're new or even those of us who've been around a little while to understand that. And that was educational. But then when they brought the sample packs out, from my perspective, people are going to take one of two approaches with these. They're either going to focus on skincare because they're really excited about the Lachey product line, and that's what they want to focus on. And that was a bit of what was talked about Saturday. They had a salon owner who has a lot of people coming in and out, and it's kind of a retail or skincare focus. And that's great. If that's where you are and that's where you believe you can best build your business, we fully support that. I think you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars if all you do is Lachey. I really believe you could do that. However, I think you're limiting yourself if you do that. So what I was telling Lisa is that prior to this, these sample packs, we already had, like I said earlier, we already had mini bottles. That's how I got introduced to this business 2.5 years ago. If my younger sister had not had a mini bottle to pass on to me, and all she would have had was $100 bottle, for example, I'm not sure I, one, would have bought it, or number two, she would have provided it for me just because of the price point. But because she had a 7 ml mini bottle that she passed on to me from her original purchase as a sample to me, it changed my life. And most of you know that story, and I'm not going to go into it tonight, but it introduced me not only to better health and income, but it introduced me to Lisa, and now we're married, So, I mean, it's a love story as well. But the whole point is that came from a mini bottle, a sample bottle. Well, I have a guy that I met 1.5 years later who does not believe in network marketing. He doesn't believe in CBD. He doesn't believe in any of that, but he's had an ankle injury for years. And a friend of his, one of the ambassadors that I enrolled, gave him a little topical sample bottle. And the guy put it on his foot, his ankle, and went and played golf. And he said for the first time in over 12 years, he was noticing, he didn't even want it to work. Even though he was in pain, he's like, I don't want this to work because I don't want to be wrong about this CBD stuff, or that something good can come from a quote network marketing company, whatever. But it changed his life. He still uses that product every day. He plays golf all the time on this ankle that is just horribly disformed. Again, a sample bottle. And so with these samples, I believe what we now have is a full line of samples that anyone, if we can get all three samples, all three, into somebody's life, you've got one of those three, most likely two of the three, and in some cases, all three of those samples are going to be a noticeable impact on that person's life. So it's my belief that we now have a complete set of samples in our cannabinoid internal to pain and touch, and now the obvious skincare products. So anyway, I think they should be packaged together. I think we should offer people all three of them at the same time. I believe that we need to price that set at $100 for the set. For you to price that so that you can make a little money with that at a retail volume, and let people try all three at the same time, have them available to them. If that's something that, anyway, that's what I believe the direction we need, we can successfully go with these. And so I just love the fact that we now have a complete line. Now, as always, we can also do them individually. If someone says, I'm really interested in your skincare line, do you have any samples? We can now say, yes, we do. If someone says, I've got pain to touch, we sold one to the barber the other day, a mini topical. He actually called me and asked me for one. So, and then our minis, of course, our mini CBDs, our Ultracell, we've had since the beginning of me getting in the business. So anyway, that's how I see it.
So the option would be all samples. You could do $40 retail for the mini bottles of oral, sublingual, topical. And then what we're suggesting is $10 per sample of Lichet. Now the question is, how long does that last? And obviously none of us have used it yet, but we believe it's anywhere between 1 and 3 days. Those of you who have used the moisturizer know that that lasts a long time. So if you could suggest that people maybe don't layer it, maybe start with the cleanser on day 1, add the moisturizer, and then on day 2, they could try the serum so that they get some Lichet in their skin. It could really last maybe 3 days. Sell them 2 of those to make an entire week. And we have the lip balm, which you could throw in for $10 because it's wholesales for $10.
Gift the lip balm, or for those of you who have been on Star Club for a while, you've been receiving some free product in your Star Club rewards. Maybe you've got minis, maybe you got things that you could just add on for them to try or have a longer experience. So let's think about this. Let's think this through. Our experience has been on average that people who use the trial or the challenge bottle of our 7 ml Ultracell, large number of people in 7 to 10 days notice something. Okay, I think Mercy just said in 3 days she could notice a huge difference. Okay, in 3 days, whether the bottle it came in was really big or really small, 3 days of the proper dose is 3 days of the proper dose. So that's been a very common experience. However, what we also know is that there are some people who try our Ultracell and say, you know, I didn't really notice anything. Or they'll say, I wanted it to do this and it didn't do that. Well, did you notice anything else? Well, I don't know. And so what we have with our Ultracell is it's a more extended period of time before the average person is going to see something. All right, so that's a given. Now, with our topical, so many people say that they had instant relief with the topical. All right, but it's something that has to be applied over and over again to the different issues, but people do notice that. And so that's a great selling point, but I will tell you that I think on average, people don't necessarily build a business on a topical alone. They need to have another experience that's really positive for them to invest. All right, now, here's what I can tell you, and I think we can talk about this tonight if you want to, but me personally, as a man who's never really cared that much about skincare, I have been using Lichet products daily since December when we got samples. And so now here we are in June, so 6 months. And I can tell you that it's not about, for me, the way I look. It's the way when I touch my forehead or touch my face, it's literally how my face feels when I touch my face. I'm still shocked at that. I still find myself going, oh my gosh, my face feels different to my own touch. That happened to me in the first 2 or 3 days of using even the sample products. So my point is this: we now have 2 sample sets in our topical and our Lichet that people will notice a difference immediately. Something they will notice. And then if you get the third thing, and that is the sublingual drops on top of that, that makes some life-changing thing, like they're sleeping, or their pain's gone away, or their seizure stopped, or their this or that. Now, guys, we have a full package, and it's not going to hit everybody that way, but we're getting more bullets in the gun, you might say. We got more tools in the toolbox that we can bring to people's experience for them to have a positive experience. So if they have a great experience with their face, and then 3 months from now, their blood pressure is lower, they're not going to have noticed that in the first 3 days, but the blood pressure was more important than how their face felt, you know, but we got them going with these samples. So I'm really excited about the samples. And I think if we package them correctly and don't get hung up on, you know, too many details of how to do this, how to do that, and we just share the options, and then throw in a little extra if you want to. Giving it away, there's not many people in Zalise, including us, who believe it's a good business decision long-term to give your products away. people need to make a purchase of that, which is valuable. Now, in some cases, like my sister, she gifted it to me. We just heard from Mercy that Lisa gifted to her this to try. But I think those are kind of calculated gifts. If you know what I'm saying, it's like, we don't just go around giving it away, but we make a decision about who we might gift it to with intent and purpose. But really what these are samples that we can sell to people where they can make a purchase to invest in themselves. And this, I think it's the best package that we have available. So.
Well, and what I love is it's really total cannabinoid therapy for the entire body. And the strategy that you're suggesting is really incorporating that we really are kind of leading with the fact that we have, skin, oral, and topical, throw in the lip balm as well. And for people who really just want to focus on Leche, you could say $20 for a sample pack and the lip balm, because the sample pack does not come with lip balm. So it's just the 4 skincare products.
And you can always start with that. And if someone says, I just don't want to spend that money to try anything, then you can go back and say, well, of the 3, which are you most concerned about? And I say, well, I'd love to try the skincare. Okay, now you get for $20 or $40, whatever they chose, the samples that they can use. But if they say, I really believe in this cannabinoid internal, I want to bring my body back to balance. I've got some gut issues. I'm not sleeping, but I really, to spend my money, I'll try the sublingual drops. I really want to focus there. If that works, then maybe I'll, do the skin, product to try that. And ultimately, the purpose is for them to get their own wholesale kit, whether they're going to build the business or not, whether they just want to use it for wholesale purchase, or they want to actually share with others, earn income, and build this business with us and impact other people's lives.
Yeah. So guys, if you we're going to provide just a few 2 minutes here. If you have a question, I know that I've seen there's a couple of comments here. Questions. Okay.
Lisa, I have a question.
Yes, G.
Gio, when I go in, I want to order that 50 a pack, and if I can't, when I click on that down arrow, it won't, it'll go, the down arrow will go 10, 25, and 50. But when I click on the 50, it goes back to the 10.
Okay.
Hey, I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead, Susan.
So yeah, I need to be quality assurance for these people. So because I reported that as a bug, but if you will select 20 as if you're going to buy it and then back up and then select 50, it'll work. At least it did for me.
Really?
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, then if you can use Safari as a browser, it will work on Safari.
Interesting. So Susan, you're saying select the 25, like you're going to select 25 and go backwards.
It won't even, Susan, it won't even let me select the 25 because I tried as soon as the call was over.
So here's where we are. I would think that's a support ticket issue at this point, and you're going to need to let them know. And please, this is a great point for all of us, a teaching point. Please don't just call support and get your problems taken care of. Please fill out through your back office a support ticket, because support tickets give a history of these problems that show up and glitches on these new products or whatever. So
I prefer, honestly, I agree with you, but if you just go support@zalease.com, it's just an email.
Okay,
And
you can do that.
You want a paper trail for sure. And thank you for that, Susan. Gio, thank you for pointing that out. So you guys, if you have glitches, try Susan's method of backing up and then, going for the package that you want. And if you're still not able to do that, definitely support@zalease.com.
So there's a good point here brought up by Cindy Alvarado. She's suggesting that our language is that we call it, rather than a sample, we can call it a trial size. Of course, Zalease has tried to get us to use the language of challenge, the challenge size. And so take the Zalease challenge of some kind. So yeah, sample oftentimes implies free.
Right.
It's funny, I was thinking about today when I was cutting the yard, because I knew this sample word was going to come up. And so, kind of raise your hand, those of you can see if you've ever had a sample of like some ice cream at the ice cream place. They give you a sample on just a tiny little amount. But if you ask them for a $20 or $40 sample, you would get, I guess, a gallon sample. All right. So our product value is much more than a little tiny scoop of ice cream that they give you for free to sample. Okay. They got pennies in that sample. The same people who've gotten a sample of ice cream have probably never received a sample tasting from a fine restaurant of a T-bone steak. You don't get to order up a T-bone and ask for a sample of the T-bone that you're going to pay $60 for. So again, I like the idea that we put value to our product, call it a challenge that can change your life, as opposed to here's a free sample, come and get yours. Okay.
And Kristen had a point that there was an email that says the collagen is only in the gold pack. That's not part of the silver pack. So let's we'll try to confirm that. Thank you for that, Kristen. And then Beth was asking 2 Lachey samples, 1 mini topical and 1 7 ml Ultracell for $100. That is a suggestion. You could also throw in a lip balm as well, Beth. That was one of the options if you wanted just to do one of the Lachey kits and a lip balm.
These are not the official price points of Solis. What we know is that the suggested retail on the mini topicals and the mini Ultracells, the 7 mils, is $40, $39.95 suggested retail. And so we felt like we should be consistent with that in our offering on these samples kit packages of the Lachey to go, like 40, 40, and then 20, if you wanted to do that, just to kind of keep the numbers close to one another. But we also feel like that you as an ambassador could, if someone chooses to do that, to gift them a lip balm, which you can order in bulk from the back office if you wanted to, and had that available. And again, as I suggested earlier, many of us who have been on Star Rewards have received over time products, other products that we could gift someone to try if they wanted to with that. So anyway, keeping it simple. I think if you had some extra minis, you might add one on top of that to gift. As long as they had the significant skin in the game, really for them to invest in themselves. And this is something that we really need to start thinking about, promoting, holding on to, believing in. Think about it, $100 to potentially change pain and have something available for you, your family, your loved ones to change the physical touch pain. Homeostasis and balance to change all the things we've talked about that the endocannabinoid system affects. And now to try something that could change the way your skin looks and feels and the health of your skin, like a world like changing product, all of that for $100 for a person to invest in themselves, to try to see if they could get a major change, absolutely worth it, 100%. And we need to take ownership of that idea. I think we're limiting ourselves when we think, oh, people can't afford it. I'm gonna tell you, that's head trash. That is 100% head trash. You're telling yourself, you're convincing yourself, you're shorting yourself, and you're shorting those people when that's your mindset. So
thank you for that. And you guys, one of the privileges we get during the week is just to talk to you guys individually. And the people we work with, honestly, guys, are the people that text and call us, and also that work with your sponsors, your upline. But one of the questions that I get from people sometimes is, what if I've talked to everyone I know and there's just, I don't know where to build my list from. And with that, I've had a really great series of conversations with somebody that you guys know. She's amazing, City Ambassador Susan Everett in Evansville, Indiana. And Susan has just impressed me because she's very successful in life. She's had more than one successful career. She's been in IT. She comes from corporate America. But when she entered this space, I'm going to just kind of bring her to the line because it was learning all over again, how to build a business instead of just, being a high-level employee. And one of the things she's done is really embraced my recommendation to start networking. So Susan, do you mind coming to the line, unmute yourself?
Okay.
and she loves these interviews, I can tell you. She just
Hey,
loves
did you see my text?
Oh, who was that?
Geo.
Oh,
Oh,
Gio,
Oh,
are
I'm
you-
sorry. I thought I was muted. Sorry, darling.
okay, we'll come back to you, girl. But anyway, Susan, you know, one of the things that we recommended and talked about early on was just getting involved in networking. So tell us a little bit about why you jumped in and kind of how you've used networking to start building your business.
Well, I jumped in because Lisa told me to.
That's a good employee mentality, by the way, Susan.
That's right. I'm not stupid. She's more successful at this than I am, so I'm going to follow her lead. And so she introduced me to a group, but was not there. And so you know, I did it, and it was not easy. You know, I kind of like just swallowed my gumption and showed up at the first meeting at ODOC 30 in the morning, and just learned from the people there. And so, but when I walked into the room, there were, I don't know, a dozen people there maybe, and I didn't know a single one of them. So if you think about it, I mean, like what Lisa alluded to a while ago, I was whining like everybody else whines. Oh, I've talked to everybody I know, blah, blah, blah. And so she pushed me out onto into a world where I didn't know anybody. And it's worked out. And what's really cool too is those from that group, then a couple of the ladies came to me and they said, hey, you would really fit in well with this other group. So then they introduced me to another group, and that's opened up a ton of new doors for me. And so really, when I meant to look this up to see exactly the numbers, but the last several people that I've enrolled, I didn't know a year ago. So they were people that I've met through networking or maybe somebody that they knew. So it's, it pays off.
Can I ask, so I did not know what networking was.
Yeah.
I'm not talking network marketing business. I'm talking about local networking where you meet people. I didn't know what that was until my 5th year in my real estate business back in the 1990s. Someone said, do you want to come to a networking meeting? And I said, what's a networking meeting? And they said, well, it's where you meet other people who have products and services to offer, introduce one another to each other. You build relationships, connections, referrals, but generally you're meeting people you don't know with the purpose of building networks of people, because everyone knows people that you don't know. And so that's what we're talking about. So there may be some people on the call who, when you say Susan got involved in networking, there may be some people who don't have any idea what we're talking about here.
So Susan, tell us what networking, like what kind of people comprise the networking group that you've been working with?
Well, so the first group that I went into, that Lisa introduced me into, were all pretty much small business owners. I mean, there's like, there's a real estate agent, there's a doctor who's like whatever you call it, by himself doctor. And then there's, like maybe, I forget now, there's some people that have an accounting firm, somebody that sells insurance. And so there's like just different people, and they're all in their own business, and all of them are looking for clients. And it's really, as I hear the people talk too, they're really good about supporting each other. So what part of the meeting is we talk about new places that we see are opening. Well, there's a guy in there selling insurance, so that helps him. So he goes, it gives him somebody to talk to. Somebody else is in the moving business, basically. It gives him somebody to talk to. So it's really cool. It's everybody shares the knowledge about what's going on, and then they support each other in the group.
And so Susan, how do you, they usually go around and you can kind of introduce yourself and talk about what you do. So in a very short period of time, how do you share that in a networking setting? Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah. And so, I do it different each time. One of the second group that I got into, I decided I was going to start making it educational. And so each time I would take some point. Everybody, a lot of people nowadays, especially if they're parents, they want to know the difference between hemp and marijuana. So one day I just introduced myself and say, hey, I'm here to educate you on this. And so I just educated them on the difference between hemp and marijuana so they could call their kids shot. And so I would try to do something that was interesting enough that they listened to me and that they remembered that I was different than everybody else in the group. And a lot of times I tell them, there was a line that I used several times, just basically that's, hey, we have, this is a great business. It gives you health and wellness. You can do it from your home. You can make money at it. It's awesome. You know, I mean, I just try to be real pumped up, real excited about what I do, and then try to just do something that kind of interests them. And then this past week, one of the networking groups has a deal where they now are doing 20-minute deals where one person gets to highlight their job and their business for 20 minutes. And so I was on center stage this past week. So my whole deal was to answer 5 questions for them. So I answered the question, basically, who am I? And so then I gave them some fun personal facts about myself, and, you know, that my dad lied about his age to get into World War II, and, you know, stuff like that. So, and then I answered the what is hemp, because people hear about it, but they don't understand it. And then why not marijuana? So again, I educated them on the difference between that. And so I really, I didn't even focus on my wants and needs as much as I did just trying to be different for them and be interesting so that they remembered me. Then I went into why Zalise. So I talked a lot about the great company it is and why that matters to me, because I worked in corporate America for some total a-holes for a long time. And I was happy, and I love this company because you're working for somebody who's awesome. You know, and then I touched just really quickly on why direct sales. And I was shortened on that. I just did one slide on that, but I felt like I needed to, because everybody else in there, you know, matter of fact, one of the ladies told me afterwards, she goes, I am so impressed that you actually used the words direct sales, because usually people are chicken to do that. And I just asked them first off, I said, hey, this is direct sales. And do you think that's a Ponzi scheme? And just stopped. You know, I said, well, you're wrong if you do. And so here's what it is. And I just gave them a quick overview about what it is, why Zalise would want to do direct sales, and then why I would want to do direct sales.
Wow. Susan, were you
Sign me
ready?
up,
Were you
man.
ready to do that a year ago?
Well, no, I'm not sure I was ready to do it a week ago or 2 months ago.
Exactly, but you did it. You've grown, and you've taken such ownership of this business for yourself and for the Evansville area as well. You've stepped up and providing leadership with the other leaders there. You know, you've become a dear friend to us and with us. I mean, you've become very special to us, as so many have. But today,
I was fortunate too. I don't get scared about standing up in front of people. We joke about it at church. Don't give Susan the mic, you'll never get it back. And so it didn't intimidate me to stand up in front of them. It was the subject matter, because I didn't know the subject matter a year ago or whatever. And so to really feel comfortable and pulling together, and when I was, yes, I answered those 5 questions, but I used slides from you know, different people's presentations that I've seen and different information to pull that together. So, you know, just listening to other people and learning from them and making it a part of your story.
So again, this is one way, guys. This is just one way that we get create, courageously go out and make the opportunity to impact other people's lives. If we'll remember that the more important thing is that you have the potential for changing someone's life, is so much more important than signing up a gold kit for your business. We forget that. We lose perspective sometimes to that, because people didn't listen to us in the beginning, and we get frustrated because our business isn't growing. And that's a part of it. But gaining the perspective of stories like what we heard tonight from Mercy is what really makes it all worthwhile. And we hear so many of those, but in order for you to personally be involved in that, you have to courageously do these things to break through the uncomfortableness of doing something different, something you're not, have not used to. So
it is an act of courage. And Susan, thank you so much for sharing. I've gotten a couple texts from people who go, hey, I want her slides.
Of course they do.
But it is an act of courage. And, Susan, I just admire the fact that, you've already had 2 other successful careers, and you really didn't need the money. You were doing this because of the impact it's made in your life and in Carol's life. And that you're rising to the very highest levels to talk to people who are also moving their lives forward by their own, they have a different mindset. They have a business mindset, not just like, I don't have enough money to afford a product because it's, not reimbursed by insurance, which we've all heard. So I'm just proud of you for moving forward. We have to elevate ourselves in order to have those conversations, to make those presentations. And it's been a delight to see you do that.
Sure has.
And I wanted to bring one other person to the line because I had a conversation with Darcy Norton today, and we love Darcy. She's really part of our Indiana-based team, but she moved to North Carolina, and so she's kind of by herself. And I was having a conversation with Darcy today, and she told me about the new Wholesale Customer that she just enrolled. So Darcy, we have one more minute. I want you to come to the line and tell us how you enrolled that Wholesale Customer.
Well, thanks. I hope you can hear me. My Wi-Fi's iffy. Okay, good. So we were tagged, having been nomads in full-timing RV. A friend of ours asked us to speak to some friends of hers that are joining that arena. And so we were talking with them, and they had started the process. They did the process, got rid of everything, packed up their time in their RV. And so we met in person other than just the phone. And she was telling me how her hands were so sore and so swollen. And so I gave her some of my topical, and I gave her some CBD, also the oral. And the next day she was just going on about how great the topical was, because now she could finally put her rings on after 2 or 3 weeks. She's very hypersensitive to medications. So initially I just a fourth of a dropper of the CBD, and that was giving her a headache. And so I told her just back off even more, do a drop or two. And now she's raving about that. So they're on their way, working their way to either Idaho or Utah, to where her son is. And so she's going to share this with him. So I'm hoping.
So yeah. Congratulations, proud of you, Darcy. And that's just a great example of someone who just in living life had it available, believes in it, and says, hey, this might help you. Let me share it with you. But this is also, didn't think about it tonight, but think about, she gave this person from her own, I guess, a little dose, right, of your own?
Oh, I got little sample bottles of each.
Little sample. So again, we're back to the challenge bottle or the sample bottle or the trial size. So once again, that was both the topical and the Ultracell. And now with both of those, this person's had a good enough experience that they decided they want to go ahead and buy some for themselves at a wholesale price. So back to our original topic, now we can add people who want to try the Lachey skincare to that trial size grouping. We have the tools in product form to help people have an experience. So what we say is do everything you can to get enough of these trial bottles to be able to share with more and more people. And for me, that's why I bought the gold kit when I started, because I saw how many trial bottles there were, meaning those are seed bottles to plant into people's lives. So if I've got 20 seed bottles and 7 to 10 of those people have an experience, now we didn't have topical back then, and we certainly didn't have the Lachey samples back then, or trial size. But the seeds that are planted have created, a regional ambassadorship for me, and what began for Lisa, now a presidential ambassadorship. But not because we were stingy with the products. It's because we spent the money on the trials in order to get it out to more people. But we also did it courageously and followed up and did it inviting them to join us in this mission. And some of them said, no, that's not for me, but I love the products, so I'll stick with the wholesale. But others have said, I want to do this too. Where do I get my mini bottles to share with other people? So thanks, Darcy.
Way to go,
job.
Darcy.
Thank you.
And so guys, we have a few minutes and we're going to go ahead and stop the recording here.